Stephanie Milky here, aka KetoMOM, or often called mom, sis, Steffi, daughter, wife, aunt, and friend. Just like many of you, I carry a lot of titles. My favorite title is mom. I should probably say wife, which takes a lot of my time. But let's be honest, if you want to do something and do it well, you will make the time for it. Commitment is hard because we find ourselves overcommitted, but when you practice prioritizing, you will find out what is actually important and what you can let go. With the KetoMOM podcast, you will learn together how to manage our time, commit to the most important things in life, and I will equip you with the tools you need to feel qualified each step of the way. My name is Stephanie Milky, and welcome to the KetoMOM Secrets podcast. Welcome to the KetoMOM page. My name is Stephanie Milky, and we are diving into Dream It, Pin It, Live It. So, oh my goodness. You guys, we're not diving into Dream It, Pin It, Live It. We're diving into your Divine Fingerprint. We did that for almost 60 days. That's funny. All right. As you're tuning in, where are you tuning in from? I would love to know. I am still drinking my ketones, so I'm waiting for my brain to turn on a little bit now. I've been up this morning, reading my Bible, chatting with my husband, and catching up on this book to share it with you. So as you're tuning in, where are you tuning in from? We live in Minnesota. We're actually getting an ice storm currently. Well, they say it's an ice storm. It actually looks pretty nice outside, but we're supposed to be in an ice storm. We'll see how today goes. So if you're brand new, I would love for you to post new below and let me know where you're tuning in from. Hey, I'd love for you to share just something you're thankful for. Here is the point of anything I'm doing in the mornings. So if you're watching live, it's morning. If you are not and you're listening to the replay, it could be midnight. I want to help you get your day started off right. And I want you to understand the power of your mindset. We've been going through different books for over a year and a half. It'll be 2 years this spring of just realizing that most people don't take even a little bit of time to just get your mindset right in the morning, to just stop and think about what you're thankful for, just to like be for just a few minutes and not wake up and be in the hustle and bustle and just the rush of life. So I think it's super important that you take a little bit of time in the morning and just be thankful. Have a heart of gratitude. We're going through a book. Whether you have the book physically with you or you're going to tune in here, my hope is you hear something you can take throughout your morning, take throughout your day. And as you think on it, ponder on it, it will change your life. It'll help you look at yourself, your life, circumstances, people in your life, perspective differently. So this book is called Your Divine Fingerprint. And I'm not going to read the entire thing to you, but I'm going to give you some things to think about. And if at any point in time you miss one of these or you want to join us for some other books that we've done over the course of the last couple of years, you can always go to ketomomsecrets.com. So it's our website. Click on book club. You can watch any of the books that we've done. But basically, we're going to walk through this together. And I want to help you just realize your mindset, whether you like it or not, plays an important factor, an important part of your fat loss. And we'll talk more about that later and in upcoming lives, but I truly believe it's super important. So this book, Your Divine Fingerprint, is all about you, who you are, what are your core values, what do you want in life, like who were you made to be, what are the gifts and talents that are inside of you that maybe you're not pursuing or you've already written it off, you thought you're too old or your time is done. It's not. And Pastor Keith Craft wrote this book. I'm not all the way through it. It's an incredible book so far, and I want to share it with you. So basically, he says this. Let me back up. He goes, we all have unique stories and unique experiences, but the stories and our experiences are not what make us unique. It's you who that makes, oh, good grief. It is who you are that makes you unique. All right, unique means radically distinctive without equal, being the only one of a kind. We're talking about your divine fingerprint. If you've ever listened to him, he talks about how everybody has, like, there's not one person in this world that has the same fingerprint as you. What are you called to do? What are the things in your life that you're like, I wish I had? Or, oh man, there's something so deep inside of me that I would love to achieve, but, right? What stops you? And we're going to dive into that and actually help you take some action on what you truly are called to do in your life. He goes this: the answer to this question is the purpose of this book. It is your 1% factor that gives you the ability to defy the odds. So he goes, my desire for this book is to challenge you. It is about choices that you can make that will turn your moments into miracles. He goes, I want to challenge you to believe bigger than maybe you've ever before. I want to challenge you to believe that not only that God created you, but also that God loves you and has a great purpose for your life. How many of you, well, let me ask you this. How many of you may have something in your life that you're like, man, I wish I would have. I wish I could. Maybe you feel like finances are holding you back. Maybe you feel like you're too old. You don't have the wisdom to do it. You don't have the knowledge, but deep down there's something that you're like, if I could, I would. Or there's just something. That's what he's going to dive into. It's not just going to be like a motivational book of like, rah, rah, here you go, you are super great. He's going to dive into actual steps to helping you define and write down your core values. What does that even mean? Define and write down what you stand for. What is your character? Who do you want to be? Well, who are you? Actually digging into you. I think it's super important because in order for you to touch other people, even just think about the people close in your family. So your children or your spouse, your family members, in order for you to pour into those people, you have to know who you are, who you are called to be, right? Not letting things hold you back, helping other people around you do the same thing. So I'm super excited. He goes, this book is about your choices. This book is a journey about how you can discover, develop, and deploy your 1%. Your 1% is the supernatural part of that. Your 1% is a supernatural part of you that has the power to take your moments in your life, your past, your present, and your future, and turn it into momentum. So here's what he has. He has this little triangle, and he's gonna walk us through this. And if you've ever heard me say this before, we are blessed, my husband and I, our girls, we have an incredible team of people. We have a great business. We have great mentors. We have great community. And something that we learned years ago was a phrase that I say often here. And I say things like, as I think, so I feel, as I feel, so I do, as I do, so I have. This conversation about mindset started 2 years ago, and I was like, oh my goodness, the reason people are not achieving their fat loss is because they don't know who they are. They don't understand the power of their mind. They don't understand the power of their words. There's more to your fat loss journey than just understanding the food that you eat, right? And also understanding, he says it the very same way, just a little different. As you think, so you feel. As I feel, so I do. As I do, so I have. His words are the same, and yet he goes, I want you to understand the think, be, do triad. He goes, as you think, we're going to learn to develop, we're going to learn to discover, develop, and deploy the things that you have in your life. So there is action to this. There are going to be questions. If you have the book, I would encourage you to do what he asks you to do. Actually dig into who you are. We did the book, Dream It, Pin It, Live It, all of November and all of December to kind of dig into some goals you have for this year, creating a vision board, dreaming, and then taking the action, right? And then seeing those things come to pass. Whether it's any of the books we've done in the past or this one, I want to help you dig into who you are. You might go, we've already talked about that. I've created the vision board, but you have to do things over and over and over again. You have to work on your mindset over and over and over again. You have to pay attention to the words that you're speaking, the actions that you are taking. You don't just learn something one time and then have it. You don't. How often do you, if you listened to my live yesterday, I was like, I feel like I already failed for the year. The only way you fail is if you quit. But I was like, man, my morning hasn't gone the way that I wanted to. I didn't do all of my vision board to-dos. I didn't accomplish like, right? It's okay. And realizing that this is something, your mindset, your gratitude, putting these things into action consistently over time, just like you do with your diet, just like you do with the food that you eat, and working out at the gym, right? And doing different things in your life to create better habits and systems. Your mindset is something else that we're going to work on. It might not seem super fun or glamorous, but I promise you, I believe that hands down, this is one of the best things that will change your life forever. If you've ever heard people talk about that, uh, regardless of the books that you're reading, if it's a self development book, a book from a pastor, most of them have the basic same concepts of your mindset, the words you're speaking, but it's the books that you're reading and the people that you are around consistently over time that's going to change your life. That's it. What are you reading and who are you around? Those things are going to have a big factor in what your next year looks like. How you, like, whether you get back to this spot and you're exactly the same, you're worse, or you're 1% better, or 365% better, right? So even if you don't have the book, I would encourage you to tune into me or somebody. It doesn't have to be me. Find a good podcast, find a mentor. Mentors can come from books, they don't have to physically be within your reach. But do something to stretch you, to grow you, to make you have different perspective, to make you look at the world in a positive way instead of a negative way. It will change. Honestly, it will change the outcome of your life. And so that's what we're going to be talking about. Your think, be, do. I like to say, as I think, so I feel, as I feel, so I have, as I have, so I. No, as I think, so I feel, so I do, as I do, so I have. So that is chapter 1. And if you have the book, he gives you action steps. So he'll say things like, hey, we're going to first discover. I want you to think about your talents, your skills, your passion, what drives you. That's it. We kind of did that in the book, Dream It, Pin It, Live It. He just wants you to make a list. If you haven't already done this, because there's some of you who didn't do the book last month, he's just like, think of the talents, the skills, what drives you, what passions do you have? You can either write it in the book. I like to take notes in my book. Get a little notebook out. You can journal. And then he says, how can you develop your talents, your skills, and your passions to the greatest part of your life? And then do. He says, find a mentor and a guide, somebody who encourages you. I'm pretty sure at the end of each chapter, there's questions that you can ask. Tomorrow we'll dive into your it factor of success. So he's going to give you action steps. He's going to give you things to think about. If the one thing you think about today is, what are some of my gifts? And you want to know what? You actually might have to ask somebody, like somebody that's close to you, and go, what am I really good at? What is something that you feel like comes easy to me? Because you might sit there and go, I don't have any gifts. I don't have any talents. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's not right. But also it might be harder for you to grab that or to figure it out or to think about it because you've been in the same kind of rut. I don't want to say you're all in a rut. It's not right. You've been in the same patterns and habits and life and environment. So ask somebody, what do you see in me? What are some of my strengths? What am I good at? Or just get real with yourself, because I bet if you sat down at a table and you started journaling, you actually would go, well, I am a good writer. I love to encourage people. Hey, I'm really great at hosting parties. Or I'm really great with kids. We were sitting at church the other day and my sister we were talking about, man, my sister has an incredible eye for making things beautiful, whether it's outfits, clothes, her home. And I was saying that is like my most challenging. Like, I can't walk into a room and physically make it beautiful. I can't see decorations on the wall. I'm not saying I can't as in like bad can't. It is not natural for me to decorate a room, to put an outfit together. My sister is an incredible, like, she makes things beautiful. My friend Lindsay was standing there and she goes, oh, that is not my gifting. But she goes, I'm really great at numbers. She's very incredible at business minded, setting like spreadsheets. She's like, I love numbers. It doesn't have to be like, what is it for you? What do you love? What are you passionate about? What are you really good at? And that's where you'll start diving in and figuring out. We'll put core values together. We'll talk about your character. We're going to talk about what makes you you and helping you utilize that for other people. Like, that's what you're called to do. It's your divine fingerprint, the things that you've been given that makes you great. Because you're all great. You were made by greatness for greatness. And so I'm excited to dive through this book. We'll start chapter 2 tomorrow. And again, I'm not reading the stories. I would say anytime that you feel like we go through a book and you're like, man, that's an incredible book, get the book, because there's so much of it that we don't go through together, but you get the highlights. So that's the book. I really, truly hope that you guys have an incredible day. I look forward to going through it with you. And there are lots of recipes. There's all of the keto things that you need here on the page. So go to ketomomsecrets.com, click on recipes, click on book club, whatever you're looking for, send me a message. I'm here to help. And I'll be doing lives later. I mean, I do other lives throughout the day. So I'm going to hop on later today and we're going to talk about like tracking your food. A lot of people have been asking about macros and what should I use to track and how does the ketogenic diet work? Like, I will get to that question, to those questions. We'll get down to the food and all of those things this afternoon. But I truly believe your mindset is so important. I think this is more important than the food that you eat as you dive into getting healthier this year. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys have an incredible day, and we'll talk to you later.